Turning now to Kentucky, after the historic floods there, cleanup efforts have been underway, but now we are moving towards the second phase of this destruction, and that's long-term care. But that's going to be a problem for the majority of the state. See this debris? Only about 1% of properties in the hardest hit counties of the state have federal flood insurance. And remember, homeowner insurance policies do not cover flood damage. So what do they do now? They look for help wherever they can find it. The Tablet's national correspondent is standing by at one of those places, a recovery center that opened up at a local community college. John, nice to see you again. How many people are showing up there?
So Michelle, people that have been coming in here, I'm right in front of a center that FEMA, the federal organization, the U.S. Small Business Association, and the Red Cross are all set up inside. And they've seen about 60 people, they said today, that have come and gone. And when I've been here this morning and this afternoon, it's been pretty slow. A few people coming in and out throughout the day.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about insurance and where exactly you are. You're in Hazard, Kentucky, a place that has actually never flooded. These people do not have any flood insurance, so they probably don't even know what they have to do. But what did you learn? What do they have to do?
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of the people here, what they're doing, they come here to see what federal assistance is available by way of loans or grants, and they're coming here to get whatever federal assistance they can. Now, I will say, other than that, you know, I was all around this area today and driving around. A lot of people are still at their homes today. There's still a lot of people clearing out debris, still a lot of people just assessing their area and still figuring out what to do next, because it's been about 3 weeks since the flooding occurred, but for a lot of them, it's still very new, sorting this out and figuring out what those next steps will be.
All right, let's talk about those other communities. The places that have been hit predominantly so hard are coal mining towns, and those are especially ill-equipped. They are some of the poorest counties in the United States. Have you heard anything about these people's plans? Do they plan to just leave?
You know, it's actually really interesting. Yesterday I was in Jackson, and Jackson was hit last year by flooding, and so a lot of people there, they want to relocate because they just finished remodeling trailers, homes that were destroyed last year, and then this happened, and so now they don't see a point in rebuilding again. They don't feel safe unless it's on much higher ground. Here, like you said, they haven't experienced the flooding before, and when it comes to relocating, you know, what people have told me is it's tough, and this also exists in Jackson, where a lot of people have been born and raised here, their entire families are here, these are their communities, this is what they're known, this is what they're comfortable with. And so it's still going to be very hard for a lot of people to pick up and leave these communities just because of these floods, but they do recognize the precarious situation they may now be in.
All right, so in the future, we may see a lot of abandoned towns out there in Kentucky, but it's really a warning for other communities around the U.S. We've seen unthinkable floods become more common, and let's talk about federal flood zones. Those maps have been substantially underestimated the risk in many parts of the country. We know right here, Hurricane Sandy, but was that the case out there in Kentucky, and are people angry at the government?
You know, it does look like from what I've seen that those maps did underestimate. Like you said, Hazard isn't in a flood zone. The people in Jackson, though, for example, this happened to them last year, so they knew that this was a possibility, though even they say, you know, 1,000-year flood is the phrase I keep hearing, that even something this bad was unimaginable. But, you know, as far as the maps go, and what the people inside told me was that there's about 20,000 communities that are on the federal flood protection program. Those 20,000 communities, they have more of a direct line to be able to get their people on insurance, and those communities go through a process to be able to be a part of that. Otherwise, people just have to see if their regular insurance providers will provide it. What wasn't answered to me, though, was what communities are a part of that around here and how many those are and what that process exactly is. And based on those flood maps you referenced, it seems that they may have under-addressed these areas, and these areas may not have been prepared to handle something like this.
All right, some really big questions there that remain unanswered. John Lavenburg, national correspondent for the Tablet and Crux. Thank you so much for being with us, and have a safe trip back to New York, John.
Thank you, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Christine Persichetti, anchor of Currents News. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button on this video. And if you want to see more content just like it, subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, because we are putting your faith in the news.